Welcome to day one of ILEX 2024. I've been lucky enough to just grab David straight from stage after your panel discussion. David, if you'd like to introduce yourself and give us a quick snippet of what points were coming up on stage today in your talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm David Carter, Chief Operating Officer at the Cheeky Panda. So we're a company that makes bamboo tissue products. Here's an example of one of them. So we take bamboo and we convert it into tissue products, and we believe that's a much more sustainable source of material to use rather than virgin pulp. And obviously we're against deforestation, and we're very, very sort of pro bamboo in terms of using products that everyone has in their households, companies use in their offices, restaurants, and you'll be using multiple times in the day, and we think bamboo is the right way to go. So we're a company that sells in the UK, in Europe and the US, and we sell through multiple channels with, for example, Superdrug, Ocado, Boots, as well as on Amazon, through our own websites and through a number of B2B distributors.
I have to say, I did look up your company last night,
Great.
Purely because of the name. I was so intrigued,
Okay.
and you are so transparent about that carbon footprint and how you do manufacture the product and where you get it from and how you deliver it to your customer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really key for us to understand where our product is coming from. It's mostly sourced. Bamboo grows really well in China, the best in the world actually. So we're very, very keen on making sure that we source our products, where we source them from. We source them sustainably. We know the companies and the areas in China we're sourcing them from, and all the factories that we're using as well to produce our products. We've just started producing last year our products in the UK as well, our wipes. So facial wipes, baby wipes, handy wipes, antibacterial wipes. We produce those in the UK now, which is a great step forward for us. Still using bamboo from China, but pleased to say we've been working with a really, really good converter in the UK.
And so are these points that were coming up in the panel discussion today?
Well, they were. Equally, I think really relevant to today is how we work with our logistics providers. So we outsource all of our logistics. So we have outsourced logistics operations in the UK and in Europe. And what we're key point of today is how we work with our logistics providers to use sustainable methods in how they do business for us. So for example, it could be using a sustainable carrier to, in the future, look at deliveries for D2C deliveries to deliver to people's homes with electric vehicles. It could be looking at the packaging that we're using. So where we need to use packaging in a warehouse environment, how sustainable is that packaging that was being used? It could be looking at things like shrink wrap that's being used for when we ship our goods to wholesalers and distributors. So we do use shrink wrap, and we're looking for more sustainable shrink wrap methods or methods of holding pallets together. It doesn't necessarily have to be shrink wrap. And then working with providers in the future to look at themselves as a business, how sustainable are they in terms of ESG, how they look after their staff, what other activities they do to look after the community. So a whole range of things across ESG spectrum that we'll be looking at more and more in the future with our providers, as well as like the day-to-day things that we're looking at in terms of, like I said, just purely things down to packaging.
And do you feel that this show is encompassing all of those factors?
Yeah, I think it's my first time at the show, to be honest with you. But no, it's really good to see the range of providers here. I've already touched base with a shrink wrap provider that I didn't know was going to be here, but it's great to see, and we've exchanged details, so we'll be arranging a meeting with them. And also other providers that we may work with our 3PL logistics or through our 3PL logistics, because we'd actually not operating the warehouse, we're operating those through logistics providers, that we can speak to them about alternative suppliers. Obviously we'd like them to be in touch with exhibitions and trade conferences like this, encourage them to learn the latest materials and techniques that are being used, and keen to work with them as well, because sometimes that's a discussion we have to have together, because it might affect things like price, for example. So it's really, really key that we work together on these things.
And I assume things are moving so quickly and advancing so quickly day to day that it's so important to stay ahead, and any gaps in knowledge to kind of clear those things up and make sure you know about what is latest in technology, best price, best of the community, etc.
Yeah. I mean, we like to be at, we'd love to be at the forefront. We position ourselves as a really sustainable brand, and we'd like to be at the forefront of technologies that are being used. So, like I said, whether it's, delivers in electric vehicles, most sustainable ways to sort of wrap pallets, best packaging to use, best even things like just reporting, so working with suppliers that know their energy consumption, things like that. So making sure that we're working with suppliers who treat their staff really well, they know the measurements they're doing, like I said, in carbon reporting, not carbon reporting, but equally packaging reporting is important as well. So yeah, making sure that we're working with suppliers that have good ESG credentials.
And I love that you mentioned that the staff are happy as well, and that's equally important to your business.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We are putting, as part of a B Corp business, putting a lot of emphasis in how we treat our staff, how we look after our staff, and making sure that we stay ahead in terms of all the things that we should be doing in terms of looking after staff. So yeah, really keen that our suppliers do the same.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us, and I'm so glad to hear that the show has already given you some contacts and some meet and greets that you may not have had otherwise.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.